Hello there, Force of Will players, and welcome back to another Wander Wednesday. This week, we got something special for you coming straight from the comments section of my last deck list video, my Les Gruz Ballestatron, and that is going to be Time Spinning Witch Stasis. So Time Spinning Witch Stasis is a older deck. It was New Frontiers relevant back in the late 2018, early 2019 meta. However, I've kind of taken the list, changed a little bit, made it more wandery than it used to be. So let's just get right on into it. So starting off, you can already kind of see the difference between what the old list did and what this current list is doing. The old list used to use Distortion of Time in order to basically ramp up a stone, right? With the God's Art Chrono Break, you would remove it from the game. Your opponent skips their next recovery phase. That means they wouldn't recover their ruler, they wouldn't recover their stones, so they couldn't call stones, etc., etc. With Distortion of Time, you would use that to kind of chain your turn into where you would play a Dinosaur Awakening, which would get you a Mosasaurus. You would lock down your opponent's stones that they had, and then proceed to do that and use Mosasaurus to kind of beat down your opponent. However, now we have access to Bloody Moon. So Bloody Moon is a very old card from back in Crimson Moon's Fairy Tales, one of the very first sets. And it has banish a card, destroy target special magic stone. But it costs 3, you say. How are we ever going to play it? Funnily enough, we get Moon Incarnation, not Moon Incantation. So Moon Incarnation actually has 2 separate printings, right? It has its original printing back in, what set is that? I think that says Moa? I guess it was back in Moa was it got printed. And then we have the alternative version, which is also attached to Purple Mist, which got printed more recently. So you're allowed to run more than 4 copies of just Moon Incarnation. So with this, we're playing 4 copies of the alternative card, 2 of just the base chant, and then 4 Bloody Moon. So we're effectively running 10 copies of Bloody Moon. But why does the Moon Incarnation matter? So Time Spinning Witch, when she produces Time Will, you can use that to pay the awakening cost of chance. So in the early turns of the game, if you go second, you can Moon Incarnation on turn 1 using Energize. With that, you can kind of start locking down your opponent's stones, etc., etc. The main thing to be wary of with this deck, Bloody Moon is an activated effect, so it does get stopped by cards like Lorite. Moon Incarnation does get stopped by Garyon, etc., etc. So there are things to play around there. However, down here we do have Setting the Stage for Providence. Setting the Stage for Providence, a newer card that got released, has the effect to prevent your spells and abilities from being targeted while they're on the chase. So what you can actually do is set up multiple Bloody Moons into play, and then setting the Stage of Providence before moving into your turn, and if it resolves, send all of your Bloody Moons out, destroy all of your opponent's stones, etc., etc. You still also have the Distortion of Time lock to kind of lock down your opponent for a turn, and then potentially go into that Bloody Moon turn and set them back multiple turns on mana count. We also have other forms of stasis cards, or floodgates, if you're familiar with the term from Yu-Gi-Oh! Academy Guard of Lycian is a very powerful one. It's also in blue, which is our predominant color in the deck. So Academy Guard of Lycian, each player may only play 1 Resonator, 1 chant per turn. We're kind of just setting up for activated effects while still only kind of playing a singular chant per turn. So Academy Guard doesn't affect us too negatively. Witch of the Fallen Kingdom, it also has the Seal 5 effect in order to grab a witch. You can use it to grab Pumpkin Witch, you can use it to grab Pointy Hat Witch, etc., etc. There are other options, however, she is primarily in the deck to serve as the your opponent can't search the deck type floodgate. Loki's Insight, very powerful interactive tool for Wanderer, just being able to rip 2 cards out of your opponent's hand that have quick cast. It's also in blue, again, our predominant color. Will color matters less in Wander than it does in other formats. However, still trying to be in a primary color really helps with consistency. Setting the Stage, we've already talked about. Lorite, it's just a staple, right? Canceling automatic or activated effects of anything. You can cancel other Lorites that are trying to cancel your Lorites. You can cancel Garyons, etc., etc. It has universal application. Fair spell, just kind of the same kind of suite with Lorite. Same deal, cancels Lorites, cancels other fair spells, cancels just other spells with quick cast for a very small mana investment. Dragon Lord's Breath is probably Time Spinning Witch's best removal tool. If Time Spinning Witch is flipped, she's on her Judgmented side. Her first one, she can flip twice. If she's on her Judgmented side, you can just put a 3-drop Resonator on the bottom of your opponent's deck for 3 or less for a singular will. The other thing that Dragon Lord's Breath deals with well, it deals with cards like Virgilius, other 3-drops that tend to enter play early. People tend to be cheating a lot of cards into play nowadays, so Dragon Lord's Breath retains a lot more value than it might have used to have in the past. It does also replace itself if you filter a Time Wheel into it, so it also has that application. Horn of Sacred Beasts, its Horn is good to shuffle back your own Bloody Moons, so you can kind of keep the Stasis lock going, as well as also preventing your opponent's grave from doing anything, should that be a problem. It just has kind of universal applicability. It does also pump your J-Ruler, which your J-Ruler is kind of your win con. The deck doesn't have a lot of very strong win cons outside of Purple Mist, the other half of the Moon Incarnation, and the Time Spinning Witch beatdown. You're mainly just preventing your opponent from playing the game and then slowly beating them down. Arena expansion, this is kind of my tech option. I've said it in other previous videos, I love tech options, love them, but you could just sideboard this instead of main decking one of them. This causes your Moon Editions to gain Eternal and Barrier. So it itself is a moon, which means you can play it off of Moon Incarnation. So it has that kind of applicability to it, which is why I put it in as a one of. It protects your Bloody Moons, so it allows you to keep them in play and then rip them whenever you want in order to deny your opponent resources, mana, etc., etc. But again, it's probably more of a side tech option or side deck option. However, I just wanted to put it into the main just as a optional tech choice. Okay, so that is the 40 that we have. That's kind of how the deck is designed to play. You prevent your opponent from doing anything, you try and rip a setting the stage, and then shut them down, right? The stone lineup, it's pretty basic. 4 Moonshade. Most decks are running 4 Moonshade. It's just the best 5-color stone outside of Ruler's Memoria, but Ruler's Memoria requires you to run a Regalia suite, which not all decks can do. Kaguya's Stone of Sorrow, it's just another 2 copies of Deepwood, because the only color outside of blue and green we have in the deck is Darkness on Witch, but that's only a 2 of, and then the Arena expansion, but I don't really ever plan on playing that for 3. So, we're just in blue and green completely. Kaguya's Stone of Sorrow also has an application where it allows you to peek at the top 2 cards of your deck and put them back in any order you want, so you can kind of get some sort of like 4C/Scry effect in there. Okay, but anyway, this is my deck list for the week. Do let me know what you think about it down in the comments section, alright? Don't forget to like and subscribe. As well, I'd also like to give a quick shout out to a couple websites real quick. One is going to be Foul Library. Foul Library is a wonderful website that has a bunch of articles written by like top players, bunch of deck lists, as well as tournament breakdowns. They also have content creator links, both for me as well as Ruler School. So feel free to go give them a shout out or a check. Another website, Force of Wind. I know I've talked about it as well. Force of Wind is a wonderful database being updated and upkept by my good friend James. James has also recently added a deck list feature to it. He is currently still working on updating it. It's in a beta cycle right now, basically, but feel free to go give that website a shout out as well. The other thing is Foul Brewer. Foul Brewer is another wonderful deck building website. It has a very good deck builder. However, the only unfortunate part with the deck builder is it doesn't have a lot of application for a video, which is why I'm still using Untap for this video. However, it does hold a lot of your deck lists. It has a wonderful search tool. It kind of shows you all the cards as well. It's a very good personal deck building website. So feel free to go check them out. I'll have all the links down in the description of this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great Wanderer Wednesday. Bye.